Beats Planet.
Yo. Here we go. It's Lombardi. What's up? What's good? What's good, y'all? Welcome. Come on in. Grab you a seat. Get you a snack or something. It's 7:15. I know I said 7 o'clock, but if you read the title of the video, it says with Foots the King. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all should know the vibes when it comes down to Brother Foots the King. That's my guy though, but he's gonna get here. He's gonna get here within the next 5 to 60 minutes. He gonna get here within the next five to 60 minutes, and whenever he gets here, we'll just kind of welcome him in, and we'll just get started with the festivities there. But I do want to give y'all a solid good hour of just me and him going back and forth on Dallas Cowboys content. Dallas Cowboys draft content in particular. We got to be particular on that because I've been going pretty heavy on draft season as of late. So if you're a Cowboys fan, shouts out to y'all for just tuning in to the draft content, just for being draft fans. But I haven't been talking a lot of just a whole bunch of Cowboy draft or just Cowboy news in general. So this will be y'all's opportunity to not only hear me talk draft, Foots talk draft, but we'll be talking about draft specifically for Dallas Cowboys. I know y'all like to fit them Cowboy questions in, like in the midst of us talking about, the Jaguars or the Dolphins or the 49ers, whoever the hell we talk about. I know y'all like to, fit y'all Cowboy talk in there, but whenever Foots get here, we're going to start that hour, and we're going to try to give y'all a full hour of Cowboy content. All right? Quick housekeeping before we get started. VOCHLOMBARDI on Twitter. That's Voch Lombardi. Follow me there. Follow me on the Instagram. We really trying to push that thing, so tune into that as well. And salute to my Patreon people. We're going to be doing merch giveaways every month for every tier of patron. So I'll be announcing that in a couple days on the 1st, actually. So if you're a patron member, you probably going to win you some merch. We got backpacks now. We got mugs. We got shirts, pushing shirts or whatnot. Sometimes ask me about phone cases. I'm like, what I'm going to put my logo on phone cases for? We're going to do that. But I got a lot of logos I'm going to push out. But anyway, the phones are active. I just want to be kind of sort of quasi-clear because I don't know how we're going to run it.
The conference has been unlocked.
Like the phone line's still running from my last show that I did about an hour ago. So the phone lines are technically active. Technically. And you can call in if you want to, get you a spot in or whatever. But this is mostly going to be me and Foots talking. So at the end of the show, we may go to 5 quick calls just to kind of get y'all's thoughts and opinions, or just like if you have a question or concern or something, we may touch 5 calls just to kind of get that out or whatever. But they open, but I'm not sure if we're gonna get to it. And of course, you can hit us with something in the chat box if y'all want to, but. I had a couple thoughts and concerns I wanted to touch on today. Of course, there's a lot of change in Cowboy community. We got a lot of coaching changes. We got a gang of salary cap, a gang of people that need to be paid. And, with new coaches come new philosophy, And this is something that we haven't had to deal with lately because as a Cowboy YouTuber, I've only been doing this for like 2 years, 3 years. But I haven't experienced yet as a Cowboy YouTuber. I haven't experienced the notion of, hey, we're going into this draft, but I have no idea what this team's philosophy is. Sometimes we'll go into a draft and we're like, hey, I know this staff or this group of coaches, these people, they don't value one text. They don't value smaller pass rushers. They don't value small school guys technically. We don't value Sam linebackers. We don't value strong safeties, We knew going into this thing guaranteed, like we like 3 techs. We like smaller D linemen that like to get upfield. We like we like athletes at corner, we like route runners, what I mean? But we have no idea what this new tenure of coaches are going to bring. So me and Foots are definitely going to touch on that at some point just to kind of I want his thoughts and opinions on this because, we didn't draft TJ Watt because we didn't want outside linebacker pass rush guys. But if a outside linebacker pass rush stand-up guy is going to be our weak side rusher now because we're going into a hybrid 4-3, which ain't the same thing as a 3-4, if that's the look that we're going into now, we may have to look at stand up outside linebacker pass rushers now. And there's plenty of them in this draft. We're going to touch on a few of them as the time comes. There's this faction of people that wants to push Amari Cooper off a bridge and draft a receiver. Well, if I'm a team that's in the middle of a potential Super Bowl run, I'm not trying to build my roster in that way. I'm trying to keep all the talent I can. I'm not trying to get rid of a guy just to replace a guy. I'm trying to hold on to as much talent equity as I can or whatever. So I mean, I just want to get brother Foots' opinion on a lot of these things, man. But if y'all want to call into the show, the number is 515-606-5187, access code 309-104. I'll probably take a call just to hold us over till brother Foots get here. Is this Joe?
Yep.
What's up, Joe?
What's up?
Everything, my guy. What you got for the show?
Well, the more I'm looking at like these prospects, there's no way we can miss at 17.
You know what? I sort of agree that there's no way we can miss at 17, but fam, this is the draft. There's a lot of ways to miss at 17, but I'm listening to your story. Go ahead. What you got?
Well, I mean, like you'll still have like top tier guys available. Well, I mean, like the usual suspects, you can because I think there's like 4 teams that can potentially go quarterback up there.
Okay, possibly, sure.
Well, number 1 pick. Well, we already know who that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Miami doesn't seem to have much faith in Rosen.
Sure.
Correct.
Sure.
Yeah, we just saw last year how a college coach decided to go and take his guy. Maybe Carolina drafts quarterback.
Yeah, possibly. Hold on. Appreciate it, Joe. Yeah, so that's something else I wanted to talk to Foots about is the balance, right? If we gonna be picking at 17, there's this balance of how many quarterbacks do we take or how many quarterbacks go top 15, right? How many guys are kind of going to get pushed down the board? Where's my pen? Because I like to write when I'm talking because it helps me think while I'm talking, right? So if you think about the balance of priority positions versus good players, you know what I mean? Think about priority positions. We got edge rushers. We got edge blockers, tackles. Quarterbacks are very important. Lockdown corner seems to be one of those positions. People say that, but I don't really see people drafting corners like that. Like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I've ever seen a corner in the conversation go first overall ever, but I don't know. If y'all want to go lockdown corner, we could put cornerback up there. But I think those are the most important ones, right? Edge, left tackle, quarterback, cornerback, right? Cool. Those are your position important important positions that get priority over player talent, I guess you would say. What I mean by that is there's a player named Isaiah Simmons that plays linebacker and safety. He's a very talented player. But he's not important. You know what I mean? But there's some offensive lineman somewhere that may not be better than him, whether it be Wirfs, whether it be Thomas, whoever you think is the best tackle or whatever, or the third best tackle. There's going to be a third best tackle that's better than him somewhere that may get drafted before Isaiah Simmons, even though Simmons is the better player. Linebacker and safety ain't that important. You see what I'm saying? So now you got to look at the quarterbacks that may not be great. That's going to end up top 15. The guys like Jordan Love, the guys like Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's, whatever. He'll probably be top 15 somewhere, but you really want just Jordan Love to be top 16 to really push those guys down the board, right? Foots.
I'm in. Oh,
Foots.
what's up, buddy?
Welcome. Boy, the chat box be dogging you out, man. I be defending you though, man.
Vacho, can they give me a pass? I've been coaching all week, y'all. I told Voch, I'm sorry, Vacho. Listen, you you run a tight ship. You don't play games when it comes to your live stream. So
That's facts.
I get it, man. I apologize, y'all. Listen, charge it to my head, not my heart.
It's cool, man. It's cool. So it's now 7:25. I want to give these people in like a whole true hour of me and you back and forth and on this thing. So you good with that?
Botch, let's rock, let's roll.
All right, let's run it for the cardio. What I was just saying is I was explaining how some positions are more important than others. And what's going to happen this year, priority positions are going to bump players over players that are better than them. And this is my example. Justin Herbert is not a better player than Isaiah Simmons. But if somebody needs a quarterback, he's going to jump in front of him. So as Cowboy fans drafting at 17, what we want a lot of these priority positions to go as top 16 as possible, regardless of what we think about the players. But we want all the edge rushers, the left tackles that we're not looking for. We want quarterbacks that we're not looking for. We want as many cornerbacks in the top 17 so that we can get the best possible player we can have at 17. So kind of give me your thoughts on that.
Oh man, listen. First of all, y'all, I know that the real sports fans, I call us the undergrounders, Voch, when it comes to draft time are locked in. You guys in the chat box, I appreciate y'all because I've heard people say, well, I don't study prospects during the draft because if they don't come to the Cowboys, it doesn't matter. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Sure. Can y'all hear me? Can everybody out there hear me?
Sure. You good.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. All right, yeah. So that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Mm-hmm. I can watch prospects all day long. Voch can watch prospects all day long because at the end of the day, these guys transition into the league, and it's like, oh, A.J. Brown is killing for the Titans. Mm-hmm. I watched him. I like what he did at such and such. You know what I'm saying? So sure. I love the fact that you guys are hanging in there with us during the draft time. That is awesome. To answer Voch's question, yes. The fact that Justin Herbert played well and he's a lock to go probably top 10 is awesome. Mm-hmm. Because what we want is Jordan Love now to get pushed up. Okay?
There you go.
You want 4 quarterbacks in that top 10. Mm-hmm. Because now a Kinlaw could fall.
Sure.
All right. Now a Simmons, which I don't think he gets past Oakland, Voch. But boy. Oakland has done some dumb things in the past.
Boy. First, when I tell you, let's
talk about it, Voch.
And listen, man, I'd be late watching film or whatever, but I just look. I play a mean game of catch up, right? So I was watching Isaiah Simmons, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And I'm up here creating the story in my mind where I'm like, fam, linebackers aren't important. Safeties aren't important. So all the safeties going to fall. If the people just saying, Voch, he's not going to make it to 17. I'm like, every safety y'all said wasn't going to make it to 17, they damn made it to 17. I want Isaiah Simmons. And boy, he went out there and made every single play in the championship game, dog. They lost. And that's the best thing about Clemson getting whooped is that all that Isaiah Simmons hype kind of get gone in the wash, though. But he made every single play in that championship game, bro. And I was like, go ahead.
He was the only Clemson defender that honestly looked like he belonged on the field with LSU.
Yeah.
I'll take it that far. I'm sorry if I hurt Clemson fans, but what you guys got to understand is I'm not a college football guy. Mm-hmm. I'm NFL prospect guy. Sure. So I'm looking at, and Voch is as well. So I know for me, when I'm looking at a player, I'm looking to see, can they compete on the next level?
Sure.
Movement-wise, what can they do? When I see a guy have blitzed off the edge and basically playing as an end, and then I see that same player 50 yards down the field defending passes. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's special.
Okay, watch this too. First, I'm looking at my chat box. Right, pull up. Then that's a terrible name, but shouts out to you. Thanks for being here. 0% Simmons makes it out of the top 12. Listen, Isaiah Simmons. Isaiah Simmons may not make it out of the top 12, but I just want you to condition your draft brain to never say this never happens. I don't because every single year,
that's a fact.
because
That is a fact.
Derwin wasn't gonna make it to 17. You know what I mean? Darnell Savage was in the 20s. Jonathan Abram was in the 20s. Every safety you wanted last year was there at the second round. So let's not say what will and won't happen. Now, Isaiah Simmons may not make it to 17. I'm not a fan of saying he can't, but that goes back to my example, right? So, Fuss, check this out. I'm just looking at my board, right? And we Cowboys drafting at 17. Three edge players, possibly. 4 offensive tackles, possibly. 3 quarterbacks and a possible. I don't think Jordan Love has done enough in this Senior Bowl. Hopefully he has a fantastic combine. And Cowboys fans, y'all really want Jordan Love, quarterback from Utah State. Y'all really want him to raise his draft stock and go top 15 so he can just push somebody else down. But I'm saying 3 and a possible so far. That's Joe Burrow, that's Tua, that's Justin Herbert, and hopefully we want Jordan Love to do that. And Jeffrey Okudah, he's our last top priority position player, right? That's like, I just named like 10 spots, 11 spots. We haven't talked about the receivers yet. We haven't talked about Jeffrey Simmons, who technically he ain't even got a position. You know what I'm saying? So who do you think, Foots, not only who you think, but in what scenario is there a top 17 guy? Who you looking at? Who you want to fall? I'm seeing people say Kinlaw. I'm seeing people say Isaiah. What's his first name? Xavier McKinney, Alabama. I'm seeing people say him, but I think we can possibly get better than that. I think we can possibly get a real top tier kind of guy at 17. What you think? How you think it's gonna shake out?
Okay, so Vacho, all right. That's loaded, and we got time, so I'm gonna talk now.
Plenty of time.
Where are we? Okay, what has to happen for me, Voch? The tackles have to get pushed up.
Okay, so let me just say this. So that's
you
our
jump back in, Voch.
So that's
have to get pushed up.
So that's our Georgia kid. That's our Iowa kid.
That's Thomas. That's Wirfs. Okay.
Louisville got a guy that could go up there. Prince Akuta T'Challa. You know what I'm saying? I don't know his name off the bat, but he could.
Mekhi Becton.
Sure. He can go up there. There's this hype around Josh Jones from Houston. He's a brand new Senior Bowl guy. So I think that's 4 potential top 15, top 17 offensive tackles that can go to push guys. Okay, back on you. Go ahead.
Oh, Voch, we're going to have some fun, buddy.
Absolutely.
All right. In a dream world.
Sure.
In a dream world. As much as I love both safeties, for this team,
sure.
If Kinlaw could fall, I think he's the player. Just from what I saw at the Senior Bowl and just the power and the size that you just can't coach.
Sure.
He's the player that in a dream world, even it would be between him and Simmons. Now, Simmons, I just don't see falling, but Kinlaw is the one who could get lost if teams fall out of love with him because he doesn't play an edge. Like he's not like a, what's AJ Espinoza or one of those guys. So
sure, might be him. Yeah.
If Kinlaw is the one now, realistically, who would be there? I'm gonna be honest. I'll go on record to say right now, you will have your pick between Delpit and McKinney. I see people in the comment box, and I did a video on my safeties. You'll have your pick between both. Who do you like?
Sure.
Who does Mike McCarthy and staff like? All right. Who does what's the new D coordinator? Vacho? How is
Nolan? Mike Nolan.
Who does Nolan like?
Mm-hmm.
Who does Tom Zula come in the does Tom Zula come in the war room or the meeting room and say, I gotta have a Kinlaw. Okay. I need pressure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We wanna get back. I don't want to move DeMarcus Lawrence around a formation anymore. I want him playing one position, and I want to get a guy. We busted on. Well, I can't say we busted on Tristan. But
too soon.
What exactly? Pull up then. I like pull up then. Kinlaw can two gap. We can two gap now, Voch.
But see, Foots, that's my thing. And let me say this because I've been screaming at people for the last 3 months about this. Foots, you coach. And you know your defense. There's a difference between 3-4 and a hybrid 4-3. It's a difference.
There's a difference.
Okay? Now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to run this hybrid 4-3 where we still got a 3-tech, we still got a 1-tech, but our weak side rush is going to be standing. I think that might be a thing. I think D-Law still going to have his hand in the dirt. Your linebackers won't change much. They'll be running sideline to sideline still. But I think the only thing that changes on your defense is your backside rusher might be standing. I think that's the only thing. And just the difference, like quickly, 3-4, their two ends are like 4-techs or they're 5-techs, whichever one.
Whichever one. Bigger guys, they're bigger players. Yeah,
right.
That's true.
And then there's 1-0 in the middle. So your guards, for the most part, are uncovered. That's not a football term there. Your guards are uncovered. But in 4-3 world, both guards are covered. 3-tech is covering a guard, 1-tech is covering a guard. I don't think we go away from 3-tech. I don't think we go away from 1-tech. We might get bigger at those spots. We may be looking to be less athletic at those spots. But I don't think we're going to line our tackles head up on people. So that's the big difference. Go ahead.
So in doing that, Voch, what does Kinlaw do for you?
Kinlaw's going to be your 3-tech. Kinlaw's going to line up. Kinlaw's going to line up in big in big guys.
And now you like you say you're adding a two-gap player who does Nolan. Nolan may not want these guys getting up the field.
But let me say this though, Foots. Can I say this?
Talk to me.
When I look at Kinlaw, like every year there's a D lineman that people say play multiple spots, and they want like they thought Jonathan Allen was a DN just because he did it, or that Quentin Williams was a DN, or that Christian Wilkins. This year they look at Derek Brown from Auburn, and they say, oh, Derek Brown from Auburn can play defensive end. BS. He is a 3-tech. When I look at Kinlaw, Javon Kinlaw from South Carolina State, South Carolina. When I look at him, his ass is legitimately 6'6". 315, long, lean, and he can explode. He can probably play some defensive end for you in real life.
Bruh. So the problem with some of these ends, okay? And you know this, Joe. I mean, excuse me, Joe. You know this, Bacho. I was talking to Joe earlier. Voch, you know this. The problem with ends is they're not stout against the run. Okay, so all these guys can get up the field, and Voch, you took a lot of heat on Twitter, but I saluted you for actually. I wouldn't say you called Chase out, and correct me if I'm wrong. You didn't call him out, but you just asked a question about his run play.
Sure.
And because that's a real thing. Like I see everybody comparing Chase to the Bosa brothers.
It ain't the same.
It's lazy. It's so lazy.
Yeah.
Chase is quicker off the edge and he has more bend.
Sure.
But
way more athletic.
But Joey and Nick are so stout at the point of attack.
Sure.
And they play the run like a 10-year vet. And you and I both know, being coaches, again, when you have a DN who can lock his arms, stack and shed, and make a play in the run game, like a D-Law. Sure. Like Nick Bosa plays the run like D-Law plays the run.
Yes.
Only Nick Bosa's a rookie going up against grown men.
That's crazy.
So
that's insane. Yeah.
People are lazy in their comps. Hanks Young and Nick Bosa aren't the same player.
Right.
When I look at Kinlaw, I see a player who plays the run well. And so that's what he does for me. Derek Brown is a great player too. He's, like you said, definitely more of a inside player. But it's funny because in Rod's scheme, Kinlaw would have been great.
Sure. Getting up field, busting ass, being faster than everybody. Sure, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
But we don't know what Nolan is gonna. I know you've been doing some work. We don't know what Nolan is going to unpack.
We have no idea. Yeah.
We don't, and that's where it's like, okay, I feel you, but look.
Thing about Kinlaw too is that he's really raw right now. He just beating the hell out of people. So his ceiling is technically higher than Derek Brown. I think Derek Brown is really as good as he's gonna be right now, which is really good right now. Derek Brown from Auburn, but I think Kinlaw really don't know how to play D line yet. Like if you watch Derek Brown, he at least has this swipe swim move. He at least has a bull rush cloth pull. Kinlaw's out here just with long arms, ball get off, strength and quickness, just whooping people. So if you can incorporate some technique with him, he can possibly be even better. Just as a prospect or whatever.
His body's better.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's a real thing.
And look, one more thing before I get back to you. Like Kinlaw and Derek Brown. Kinlaw is like an inch taller than Derek Brown, but they both about 315. Derek Brown look fat. Kinlaw don't. Kinlaw is just a heavier, big, swole action figure looking dude. Derek Brown look a little pudgy under his shoulder pads or whatever. So that's interesting, man. That's interesting. Kinlaw could possibly get a little bigger. That's interesting. Let me ask you this though. You were talking about Xavier McKinney. You were talking about Delpit. In my humble opinion, I think our pick is better than them. I think we can afford to get a player that's better than them. This is what I mean. If all these guys do push like if your offensive tackles go, if your quarterbacks go, and of course the handful of big names go, and you have the opportunity, let me just say 3 names for you, right? Let's say, and this probably won't even happen. I just want to get the vibes real fast. Let's say Kinlaw, CeeDee Lamb, because I got a follow-up question too. Kinlaw, CeeDee Lamb, and let's say a guy like AJ Epinesa. Say they on the board. What's your vibes there? Because I think all this is possible. What's your vibes amongst those 3? I think you got a pure 3 tech, you have a wide receiver, and you got this hybrid left defensive end that can play inside for you. What's your thoughts amongst those guys?
Okay, so I'm gonna answer both sets real quick. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna answer your safety question because we gotta disagree, Voch.
Okay.
And I'm glad because we normally be on the same page.
Sure.
But here's my thing. Voch, I need a playmaker back there, man. I gotta have it, Voch.
Sure.
We don't take the ball away.
Sure.
Like we don't have anybody with elite. And so what's happening at Delpit, Voch? Last year, where would you have drafted Delpit? Right now, off his film last year, where would you have drafted him, Voch?
Like somewhere where we at, like anywhere between 17 to 27, anywhere like in that range, make a little sense for me.
So I think that draft Twitter and draft everybody has, for lack of a better term, shitted on Delpit. Excuse me, y'all.
Sure.
It's Sunday. I shouldn't be cursing.
You good.
But draft Twitter and draft YouTube. I don't know where this is coming from.
Okay, watch this. This the difference though. Foots, this the difference. Watch this. This ain't me crapping on Delpit. I just think we're at 17. And I think that when the priority position players go, I think the options that we're going to have on our plate is going to be better than we thought. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I think because we got a lot of players we don't need, but a lot of those players that we don't need, like those tackles, those quarterbacks, a few of those rushers, a few of those receivers, the cornerbacks, they're going to push to the front. I just think we're going to be surprised at the player that we get, right? Think about 3 techs for a second. A second round 3 tech.
Right.
There's this guy at Texas A&M, Matabuke, right? He's solid. He's nowhere near what Derek Kinlaw is. Neville Gallimore.
Yeah.
Neville Gallimore from Oklahoma, maybe a day 2 guy. Love him to death. I don't think he's what Derek Kinlaw is, right? But you a safety guy. We think about guys like Kyle Duggar, Ashton Davis from California. The Hudson kid from Michigan. I think we got options this year in terms of safety. What's the boy we just drafted from Texas A&M that's on the team right now that I think can play? Donovan Smith. What's his name? From Texas A&M last year.
Oh, you talking about Donovan Wilson.
Donovan Wilson. I think Donovan Wilson can play. I just don't want to be in a situation to where we pass up on a really good D lineman because that's what we've been missing. I don't want to pass up on a really good defensive lineman when we may be good at safety for 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, and we possibly got the safety that we want on this team already. Just give me your thoughts on that. That's not me shitting on Delpit. I just think that how the board is going to work out, we're going to be surprised the caliber of guy that's there.
Yeah. So, okay, you got me there. Here's the creative genius is right though. So here's my thing, Voch.
He just want to say it because he's tired of Jeff Heath, but I'm listening. Go ahead.
now listen.
Go ahead.
Donovan Wilson showed flashes.
Sure.
The problem is, well, all right. Let me defend my guy Delpit because I'm LSU stan.
Mm-hmm.
I've loved, I've been watching Stingley since he was in high school.
Oh,
so
he's fantastic.
All of these guys that come through LSU, I just feel like they come to the league and they're ready.
Sure.
You look at Tre'Davious White, you look at Honey Badger, you look at Pat Peterson. Obviously, it would be just our luck that we drafted Mo Claiborne, but you get my point.
Sure.
Okay, so LSU players come to the league with a different swagger at that D-back room, in that D-back room. Now, I see people, and I did a video on McKinney, and I love him. McKinney is good, but I think what happened is people are over-analyzing Grant Delpit and making a huge mistake like they did with Taylor Rapp, who, by the way, played well this year as a rookie for the Rams. And what's happening is with Delpit, they're looking at, first of all, he wasn't healthy. He made a few mistakes in the championship game,
sure,
which happens. He was playing against T. Higgins. He was playing against good talent on the offensive side of the ball. But he's still a damn good dog. To me, he's a step below Florida State, who I wanted. He went to the Chargers. But
Derwin James.
Derwin. So he's not Derwin. Right. But if you want to get the middle of the field taken care of and start making plays, and then listen, he's willing to tackle. He's not always the best tackler, but the willingness to come up and crunch is there, and the ball skills are elite. Now, what you're saying with Kinlaw, listen, if it's Kinlaw and Delpit, just off the strength of physicalness and stoutness, I would probably have to draft Kinlaw just because you got to draft. You can't. Yeah. But the problem is too, Voch. So the D2 kid. Let's talk about him for a second.
Kyle Duggar from
Lenore State, something.
St. Louis High School, from ESPN State University. Yeah, sure, I got you. Yeah.
Kyle Duggar.
Sure.
Creative genius, like no. Listen, I feel you. So here's the deal.
Yes.
Right here. Voch, will they? If you go second with him, does he see the field? Like, it's a new staff. So guys, comment box, don't overreact because maybe they do let him off the leash if you draft him. He showed he's a playmaker. I get it, but will they say Jeff Heath is safe and we know he's good? You know what I'm saying? Or will they let him off the leash? That's the unknown. Duggar can play, yes. Hell, I think you may have a Cal kid still there.
I think
from Cal, Ashton
Davis, yeah.
Ashton Davis, yeah. I think Ashton Davis will be there.
I think Duggar can do a lot of things that Isaiah Simmons can do. Not on the same kind of level, but Duggar's like what, 6'1", 230 or something like that. Like he's a bigger dude. He's not like a rangy safety. I think he can do some box safety, and he can come down, do some linebacker things in the nickel as well. So that's interesting. I just don't want to miss on this player, Foots. You know what I mean? Like in the first round is a lot less forgiving than the day 3 picks, because you really don't know where guys are going to fall day 2 and day 3. But the difference between the 15th overall pick is a big difference between the 24th overall pick. That's just facts. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Voch. I'm gonna do this now. Now we're gonna have this talk. Voch. Depending on how you have things graded, you're gonna have the second best receiver available.
And
how do you? So look.
So listen, watch this, Foots. Watch this, because I had this written down. Watch this. I had this written down. Watch this, Foots. I'm gonna let you go. I had this written down. Watch this. Are you of the camp of people that wants to cut Amari Cooper and draft a receiver because somebody going to be there. That's why I said CeeDee Lamb earlier. If Jerry Jeudy goes first like he should.
No other receivers getting touched till 20. So watch this. Yes. Damn. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I saw enough from the way that Dallas Foots wants to play football. I would love to have Henry Ruggs on my team.
Sure.
Because Henry Ruggs is going to run a 4.2 at the combine.
Yeah.
And Henry Ruggs, 3 times a game, will run past everybody on the field.
Yeah.
And you see what I'm saying?
The best thing about Henry Ruggs, the best thing about him is the passes that he don't catch. Is the passes that Randall Cobb is going to catch because he's running upfield, or because you gotta respect 4.2 speed. You gotta respect it.
Listen.
Yeah.
And so I honestly have Ruggs graded higher than CeeDee Lamb. Now that's apples and oranges. If you grade them higher, about whoever with chat box, what do you guys have Lamb? That's fine. But my point is this. Voch, we don't know. I saw enough out of Gallup. We have 3 more years left of Zeke in his prime.
Sure.
I want to use those 3 years I gotta use Zeke like it's nobody's business. Gallup is my one. Zeke is my one option. Gallup is my one receiver. Amari Cooper, I'm trying to find a way to keep Byron Jones.
Fuzz, come on, man.
Come on, Voch. I'm trying to find a way to keep Byron Jones. I love Amari Cooper. But if the Eagles want to pay Amari Cooper an arm and a leg, by all means, goodbye.
Man, have my arm.
Listen, I love Amari Cooper.
Take my arm.
I did a video and said he was going to be the best player for the Cowboys.
I love Byron Jones.
But there's also a salary cap, and I don't want to get into cap hell paying a player who could possibly fall off 2-3 years from now when I could have drafted a player who could be ascending 2-3 years from now.
See, look,
with Gallup.
This is my problem. When it came down to these 3 players, pick 2. When it was Cooper, Byron, and Zeke, I was on the let Zeke go train. You know what I mean? I'm happy Zeke is here now. Zeke is fantastic. I was on the let Zeke go train because I really wanted to keep Cooper. I really wanted to keep Byron. I was going to let Tony run full time. I think I'm documented saying that. People, I think we get kind of ungrateful with Byron Jones. When we look at these cornerbacks that have 9 interceptions, that comes from people throwing the ball at them a lot. Teams don't throw the ball at Byron a lot. So Byron's not going to catch interceptions. If you look at Byron's stats for real, Byron shut his whole side of the field down to where Cheeto got picked on. You know what I mean?
People, if you're not watching football, if you don't watch, like, you guys got to understand, me and Voch fall asleep watching coaches tape of these players. Teams don't throw the ball at Byron Jones, y'all. I'm going to be honest with y'all. You can say what you want about me. You can say what. Listen, teams don't throw the ball at Byron Jones. Period. Facts. You could say he gave up one play this year that I can really remember to N'Keal Harry. That was like, damn, Byron, you got to play with.
Sure.
Everything else was like everything in front of him. Maybe it was a contested catch. Everything they try to beat him deep with, no good. Yeah. Corners are harder to find. Lockdown corners like that are harder to find than receivers. Sure. He's never hurt. How many games has Byron missed?
He never missed. He may have missed like week 1 this year because of like his like off-season injury or whatever. But like besides that, nothing.
Somebody in the chat box tell me how many games Byron Jones has missed.
Man.
You guys keep talking about ball hawk, dog. Just don't get picked on. I'm good with that. You see what I'm saying? So
sure.
I feel you, Aisha, not paying $16 million. But what me and Voch are saying is
Aisha don't like Byron Jones.
This is how, guys. But this is the talks that they have in the war room because we're trying to pay a team. Okay, you still got to pay the quarterback. You're gonna pay the quarterback. You got to pay. Contracts are coming up, guys. You see what I'm saying to you? So we're trying to pay a team and still be competitive.
You know what I think 2 Foots, I think people often compare, like when we're talking about the players on our team, whether we keep them or not. I think that there's this bad habit from Cowboy fans, and it could be football fans, but we compare that player to the best player ever, and then we have the conversation, right? Like, oh, Byron Jones, he ain't Gilmore or nothing like that. I mean, he don't need 16. I don't think Byron would ask for $16 million. I don't think he's as good as Gilmore. I don't think we're in this place to where we're comparing him to that. Oh, I don't think we're comparing Amari Cooper to, DeAndre Hopkins or like Julio Jones' contract. I think these are going to be different kinds of contracts. They're going to be like bigger numbers because they're getting paid or whatever. But you've got to have people on your team. Plus, if you're in a Super Bowl run, you ain't got a lot of room to just be letting people go. And that comes back to my Amari Cooper conversation, right? If we're rebuilding a team, that's when you had a conversation of, should I let go of this guy and possibly draft a young replacement to take his spot? If we got a 3-year Super Bowl window, I'm talking about the Cowboys now, if we let go of Cooper and draft like a Henry Ruggs, do we get better at receiver? Do we stalemate at receiver, or do we go backwards? I think we go backwards. And if we're trying to win a Super Bowl, I'm not trying to go backwards. You see what I mean? So we got to let all of our decisions reflect getting better and not just stalemating or not trying to find value or something like that. You see what I mean?
Yeah, no. I mean, look, these are the talks. So McCarthy definitely, we're not in a rebuild.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I agree with you there, Voch. But we just got to figure out what does Coop want? You get what I'm saying?
Man, I hope Coop just want to be humble and just don't let his agents get involved. Man, I just hope. But look though. Then again, we got $90 million. I don't think the conversation is Coop, Byron, and Dak. I think we're missing the real conversation. I think the real conversation is guys like Robert Quinn and Michael Bennett and some of these auxiliary guys. I think that's where the real conversation goes. I think these big name guys get done because you can hit buttons on Tyron and get $10 million, or you can hit the button on Tyrone Crawford and get 8. You know what I mean? But we won't be able to bring Anthony Brown back. Jeff Heath may or may not come back depending on how cheap he goes. You know what I mean? So of course, with these 7 draft picks, we got to find a way to find as many starters as we can, but to fill in the auxiliary spots so that we can pay as many of our bona fide starters as we possibly can. I'm not trying to be cheap with this thing. You know what I mean? I want as many soldiers as I can get to show up to the war as I can. And just kind of go from there. Also, I'm a sucker for trends. And if you look at the trends, if you look at the teams that's in the Super Bowl, that's in the playoffs, that's made any kind of noise, they have top tier defenses. They're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, Pat Mahomes is of course putting up 40-some points or whatever, but they get sacks when they need it. They get interceptions and they make plays when they need to. You win the game with defense on top of scoring, 30, 40 points or whatever. And I think that's what we got to focus on. We know we can have the number 1 offense, but our defense just can't be giving up 500 yards a game.
Yeah, so that's the big one right there. It was times last year where, and listen, I'm taking the D lineman. I'm taking the lineman over all of them.
Sure.
Okay, so that's the facts right there, Voch. But the thing that I'm worried about is you have to choose now, Voch. You're going to lose an asset. You're not going to keep Byron and Amari Cooper.
Sure.
I just want the chat box, everybody you're not going to keep Byron Cooper. Byron Cooper. You're not going to keep Byron Jones and Amari Cooper.
What I think happens though, Foots, I think we can keep both of those guys, but Robert Quinn is scheduled to make like 8. And if we sign Michael Bennett back, that's going to be like 8. And Malik Collins possibly won like a contract or something like that. That's like $17 million amongst 3 people. You know what I'm saying? $17, $18 million. I think we're just probably going to draft a backside defensive end, or Tyrone Crawford comes back and fills in some of that D end work for you, and just draft an interior guy. Jeff Heath's going to be cheap, and that's how you build your team, though, Foots. I know we want to go and get all the big dollar players, but you need guys like Jeff Heath that can start, but only charge you $2 million a play.
That's fair.
You're going to need a lot of those guys.
That's fair. So I'll be honest, I'm not cap guy, so if the chat box can make it work, keeping Amari and Coop, keeping Amari and Byron Jones, hey, make it work. But the thing is, like Voch is saying, you're gonna get to 17 and you're gonna have players on the board that you're gonna come back to this draft and be like, damn. You know that, Voch.
How about this though, Fuss? Let's do this. Let's go round 1, 2, 3. Give me your position priority. Give me a combination of positions you would draft to fill out 1, 2, and 3.
Round 1, 2, and 3 priority.
Mm-hmm. I can go first if you want me to.
No, I got you, Voch.
Okay.
We're going priority. We're going D-line, safety, corner.
I think that's fair. I was gonna go 3 tech, safety, D end, but shit. If we okay, watch this though, because if we can't bring Byron back and Anthony Brown leaves, then Jordan Lewis and Cheeto are your first corners. Now what? Now what? You know what I'm saying? So I think cornerback is a realistic thing. And of course, we're gonna have this conversation all over again after like free agency because we'll have a lot more clarity or whatnot. But in terms of what's up?
Not to cut you off, you keep bringing up Edge.
Sure.
What does Ebenezer do for you?
I like Ebenezer. I like him a lot. And I think
if he's there, is he your pick?
It depends.
17, because he could very well be there at 17.
Absolutely. It depends on who's there. Because my thing about Epinesa, he can play defensive end and he can play 3 tech, and he's really good at it. But I think what a lot of people don't like about Epinesa is that he's not flashy and he's not super pass rush. He gets sacks guy. And Cowboy fans kind of got me messed up a little bit because they think D-Law trash because he wasn't getting sacks this year. Okay, so like D-Law got like what, 8 sacks or something? Maybe like what, 6? 7, yeah. But he was like the second best defensive end versus the run. You know what I mean? And if he's the strong side defensive end, the left defensive end, his job is to stop the run and create pressure. It's Robert Quinn's job to get the sacks, and that's what happened. But I think AJ Epinesa, he's a lot of that. He's a run defender. He can get sacks. Big, super strong Samoan Tongan guy. I don't know which one he is, but he runs down the middle of people. He beats the hell out of these kids at 3 tech. Can be a fantastic tackle for you. I think he's a less athletic JJ Watt. I think that's fair for him because Foots, he's 6'5", 308 right now, playing defensive end.
Here's the deal.
Go ahead.
Iowa players are tough as nails.
Sure, I agree.
If you want toughness on your team, you draft a kid. Mm-hmm. Like, you want edge, Voch? Go get Epinesa. Like you said.
Sure.
What's happened, though, is Cowboys fans want to have their cake and eat it, too.
Yeah.
You're not – at 17, you're not getting that. So, I'm telling you that now. However – if you draft, I think he would be the safest pick. He's safer than Kinlaw to me.
Yes.
Because
I tell you why.
He's more polished.
He's more. Thank you for good. Goddamn, hold on.
Give me you got to give me a buzzer right there. Ding, 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 ding.
This one I'm gonna give you. Goddamn, hold on. That's what I'm gonna give you. That's what I'm gonna give you. Right there. Oh, Fuzz, he's polished. He's ready. He's better with his hands. He's stronger. Not as athletic, though. That's different. Not as athletic. Kinlaw is ridiculously athletic, but he's probably pro-ready right now. I'm talking about. Let me slow down. AJ Epinesa is more pro-ready right now because he can do a lot of the things you would need a pro to do. Kinlaw may have to come in, do some duty, and be better next year. You know what I'm saying? But he'll be super fantastic next year. That's just how D-line works. So if I had the opportunity to get Epinesa, I absolutely would get him 100%. Polish. The word polish was right at the tip of my tongue, Fuzz, and you said it. Let me say
I'm looking at it like you said, Voch. Mm-hmm. When you went to the priority of edge or an end, I said, man, look, he gonna probably be staring you in the face. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Voch is completely right because a tackle gonna come out of nowhere, somebody we never heard of.
Sure.
During the combine. Ruggs, listen, don't be surprised if Ruggs gets overdrafted. I'm telling you now.
Sure.
There's a team right now
Yeah.
Could be a Oakland.
John Ross.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
We know John Ross wasn't no receiver at no damn Washington.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
He was a speed guy.
Right.
But when you can run that fast, there's an offensive coordinator in the NFL. It never fails, guys. There's an offensive coordinator in the NFL who will say, give me that guy. Because he is. Hey, guys, I like Antoine Winfield, too. Safety, he's so small.
Yeah.
He's just tiny. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm off track. But there will be a coordinator, Voch, who likes just saying, I need speed. Just like Oakland. Oakland back in the day.
Facts. It might be Oakland. Facts.
Right.
Yes.
They got to have speed. And what's going to happen is good football players, like what happened when Zach Martin fell to you at 17.
Yes. Foots. Yes. Foot. Hold on. Time out. Goddamn. Hold on, Foots. You heating up. You podding, Foots. Hold on. That's what I mean. That's what I mean by you don't know what player's going to be sitting there.
Yeah.
Zach Martin was just sitting there. And we wasn't even looking for Zach Martin. We were looking for somebody else.
Wasn't looking for him, man.
But if you sitting there, sometimes you just got to take that player that's there. I got a different angle for you, Foots. You ready?
Let's talk.
Mike Nolan's going to come in and possibly make changes, changes to your defense or whatnot. We look at right defensive end differently now than we looked at last year, okay?
That's fair.
Stand-up defensive ends, linebackers, that may be a thing. Last year, we wasn't even looking at a guy like Brian Burns. We're like, oh, he wouldn't fit in. You know what I mean? Like T.J. Watt, these stand-up guys, right? Is there a possibility that if we stand up our outside rusher, and that may go into your salary cap conversation because Robert Quinn left Miami because he couldn't stand up. If our backside defensive end is a stand-up guy and Randy Gregory ain't came back because I'd cry if he came back and they made him stand up, is there a defensive end that you would possibly want, or like one of these smaller outside linebacker guys that can come in and like stand up for you? Because let's talk about some day 2 guys, day 3. Alden Robinson from Syracuse can stand up for me. Bradley Anai from Utah, that guy can stand up for me. Josh Uche from Michigan.
So he's the one. I was gonna let you finish. He's the one.
Josh Uche cold. I'll take a guy like that. I will take your safety in round 1 if you can give me Josh Uche pass rushing on day 2. I'll let you have it.
Then let's talk football because he's special. But here's the thing though. We gotta know, obviously, is that what they want to do?
Probably not. But but you know the vibes, man. Probably.
Well, the problem with Uche is not really a problem. I wish he was bigger.
I wish he was bigger.
I wish he was bigger. The 240 area scares me, but
sure,
the athleticism is there, no doubt. You know what I mean? So I listen. I like what you're talking about there, Voch. It's really going to be partnering. You know what I mean? We're going to talk for the next couple months about partnering,
sure,
more or less.
Yes. Yes. And what Foots means there is, hey, if I can get this safety in the first and a lesser D tackle in the second versus a better D tackle in the first versus a lesser safety in the second, like how you gonna combine your possible picks or whatever. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Let me see if I can work on one of those combinations. So that'll be like Kinlaw and Duggar versus Delpit and Neville Gallimore or something. You see what I mean? Which one would you rather have? Chat box, y'all can answer that right now. Which one would you rather have? I think in my personal opinion, I think Kinlaw and Duggar is the better combination there.
If you drafted Kinlaw and Duggar, I'd probably do a backflip. I would do a backflip.
It never work out that way though, Fuzz. We be having this long list of people we want, and look, we just got it perfect, and they be on the board by the time we on the clock. It never works out, man. That's just how life works.
No, but I like Duggar. So here's what scares me about Duggar is the big time competition.
Yeah,
he looked good at the Senior Bowl, but the problem with that is
sure, the
Senior Bowl just isn't the best. And it's all a learning experience, so I get it.
Sure.
But now if you draft Duggar, then he now takes X Wood's role, and X is your free to me. And Jeff Heath is off the field.
And look, this is my thing, man. I know people want to get safety early, but there's only one safety in the past 7 years that was drafted in the top 10. That's Jamal Adams. Hooker was in he was like 19, 17. Derwin James was 17. Lil Missile, Darnell Savage was 20. Jonathan Abrams was in the 20s. All you guys last year, they was in the second, third round.
I think Mark Barron went kind of high.
Well, that was a mistake for us.
Minka went high. And he was looking like a bust until he got saved in Pittsburgh.
I tell you what, Minka wasn't drafted as a safety. He was drafted as a corner. They just made him play safety because outside corner didn't work.
That's a fact.
That's how that worked. So, hey man, I just want to let people know. Let's not jump out the bridge, man. Now, would you be opposed to like trading back? And I hate trading back. I hate the scenario of trading back. But it's some players in the 20s that I like. If you look at a guy, have you watched Notre Dame this year?
Yes.
Julian Arqua, as a pass rusher, I like him. I like Julian Arqua, man. He's another guy that could possibly come in and play edge for you if you want to trade back, get into the 20s or something. You know what I mean? Xavier McKinney may be there in the 20s. Okay, Foots, you're a safety guy. Give us a report on Delpit versus McKinney. What we getting with him?
Okay, so when you're talking Delpit versus McKinney, for me, McKinney actually had better tape this year.
Uh-huh.
Okay. McKinney
turnovers and tackles and all that.
Turnovers, tackles. Go watch his LSU tape. Yeah, thank you, Dre. I do pride myself on grading safeties. I love watching safety play. Mm-hmm. Love watching hips, how they turn, how they run. McKinney is special. The only reason why I would take Delpit is because his sophomore tape was unreal.
Sure.
And I think that you can get that player back in the right scheme, and he plays with so much swagger. So, yes, he does miss tackles. Yes, he does. But if you want to make a comparison, let's do this. McKinney is Darnell Savage to me, and at his ceiling, and in the league, he is probably Kevin Byard. But I'm telling you, Delpit at his best is Derwin James. So
I think what happens is people put Delpit in certain scenarios to like they talk themselves out of Delpit in places where he wouldn't be great. You know, people talk about Delpit in a way that if Delpit was playing box safety and had to tackle Derrick Henry, he wouldn't survive. And to be fair, he wouldn't. But what Delpit's really good at is he's good at range, he's good at covering people, he's good at being fast. So if he was going to be put on this team, he would be in situations he would be deep free. We wouldn't ask Delpit to be box safety guy. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Delpit is your free.
Absolutely.
Like, you put him as a true center fielder.
Mm-hmm.
You let him make plays, but see, he can guard tight ends.
Absolutely, sure.
That's where you're, and you know, people see. Here's the problem with an Antoine Winfield Jr. Let's talk about some of these late round safeties. Mm-hmm. Duggar is the only one who I think could possibly see the field as like a second or third round player.
Sure.
Winfield, he just day 2, day 1, he does it. Day 1, he's not going to be better than Jeff Heath.
Yeah.
He's not going to be better than Xavier Woods. He's just not.
I've been saying a lot about Winfield. Like, okay, so I'm aware that this happens. Sometimes when Cowboy fans get a lot of hype about a player, some Cowboy beat writer said, I like this player. Is that what happened? Because I took a look at him. We are talking about Antoine Winfield from Minnesota. I took a look at him, man. I'm like, man, it's like 7 guys I would rather have than him. But
yeah, he's listen.
What I think happened is I think some beat writer somewhere said I like Winfield, and by default, I think we get a lot of Cowboy fans liking Winfield. When I mean, he may be like
he's a 4th, 5th round player.
5th round guy to me.
The problem is, so the ball tends to find him in the Big Ten, which is all well and good, but you gotta understand, receiver play in the Big Ten isn't much. I mean, it's a lot of coming down in the box.
Sure.
You got to come tackle, which is all well and good. But, guys, in the NFL, you got to cover. You got to be able to run, or the ball's going to go over your head.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference. You know, Winfield is good, but he's maybe 5'10", which is automatically a problem.
This is my thing. If you're going to use a draft pick to get Winfield, just start Donovan Wilson.
Right.
Just start Donovan Wilson. Like, don't use a late round pick or a third, fourth round pick on a safety just for the hell. Oh, I hate Jeff Heath. I'll take anybody. You shouldn't want to take anybody because Jeff Heath's probably better than them people, or Donovan Wilson probably better than them people. If you're gonna use a pick, get one of these first round guys or second round that can clearly upgrade them. Antoine Winfield ain't coming in taking Wilson or Jeff Heath's spot. Just run with what you got. If that's the case, get one of them tight ends or something.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, the bottom line is, the bottom line is, Voch hit on the head. You have players on this roster. If you're gonna, your top 3 picks, you need to be looking to try to upgrade and get production. Because if we're being honest, this draft class, the 2019 draft class sucked. Mm-hmm. I mean, if it wasn't for Tony Pollard, it was a complete bust. It was almost shades of what. Was that terrible draft cast?
You talking about the Cowboys class?
Yes.
Well, Foots, my whole notion about the Cowboys class is that they wasn't drafted to play that year. They was drafted for 2020. You know what I'm saying? Because Connor McGovern wasn't gonna come in and take Big Connor's spot, or little Big Connor, however you want to call him, because Connor McGovern's bigger. Tristan was not gonna come in and start over Michael Bennett and start over freaking Kerry Hyder who got starts in the league. He wasn't gonna come in and play over Malik Collins. Like, it was just too many 3-techs playing over him. And when Tristan did get a chance to play, he was at 1-tech. He was playing out of position. Tristan not a 1-tech, he's a 3-tech.
Okay, I'm gonna give you that.
So I just don't want to get. Donovan Wilson probably be fantastic this year. Tristan Hill probably be good this year. Tony probably be even better this year. Tony, look, I wish Tony would have got the ball more. But
yeah, me too.
I think all these are next year picks. But go ahead.
So but here's the thing, right? How confident? Let me ask you this, Voch. How confident are you in Tristan to let a Malik Collins walk?
See, look, this my whole thing about Malik Collins, man. I was ready for him to make that leap. I wanted Malik Collins to be so great because you know what? When I saw that stat, when it was like DeMarcus Lawrence and Robert Quinn are the most double teamed ends in the league, I say, Malik better be tearing shit up soon. But he didn't. He never did. He was just very pedestrian. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't bad. And me and Okoye are getting the shouting matches over this. He wasn't bad. But I need my 3-tech to tear the block up. Now, I think the biggest thing about Tristan Hill, though, Brother Foots, you know what I think it is? I think people confuse him with being a first-round pick. He was the first guy we picked last year because we didn't have a first-round pick. But he was like, 58? Tristan is 58th, and we treated him like he was 17th. Treat him like he 58th. You know what I'm saying?
That could have been some of that's Cowboys fans. That's our fault as fans.
Treat him like
he 58th. Yeah, he was a 2nd round grade.
Yeah,
who needs to get stronger. Obviously, strength was an issue.
Sure,
got pushed around. Still has the quickness, but now needs to get in the weight room and from reports needs to grow up a little bit. So
sure. But Tristan, hey, if you're a D tackle drafted at 58, I expect you to be a guy that can come in and rotate at 3-tech, and I think that's what Tristan's gonna do.
Yeah, I think so too. I think next year he'll have a better showing. Now, what you said about
I hate this. Fuss, I hate this because I just sat up and talked for 2 minutes. For 2 minutes about why he didn't play. And Swaggy D must be listening with earmuffs on, a 2nd round who didn't even play much. Foots, did I just explain why he didn't play much?
Swaggy D, he actually just concluded.
Foots, what I say?
He just said as a 2nd rounder, that's your. So guys, we gotta.
Hold on, Foots, did I say something? Did I say something wrong?
He just, man. Swaggy D, what's up? You gotta pay attention to class, man. Come on, Swaggy D.
Swaggy,
man, he just gave a soliloquy.
Swaggy over there walking away from the phone, dog. My bad, Foots. Go ahead and say what you were saying, my guy.
So, all right, I won't be hard about you. You know, we're scout guys, so I'm gonna always take the growth and what the upside could be. So we're gonna go there. Here's the thing, though.
Yes, sir.
Here's the thing right here and now. Um, when it comes to this draft, all right. When it comes to this draft, you got to get early production. Okay. So when it comes, and if you want to get your defense better, Voch, because guess what? Mike McCarthy may say, I got everything I need on offense.
Sure. I agree.
McCarthy may say that.
I agree. I think he does. I think he does. I think the offense is ready to go right now. And I think if your defense was better, it'll help with a lot of those hidden yards. I do agree. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so listen, you have now convinced me, okay, let's get stout up front.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get stout up front. Let's go, April. You know what? That's fine. Let's go D tackle and D safety. Let's get stout up front. Mm-hmm. I was also thinking tight end, like Cleveland Brown is talking, but I just don't see, guys. We gotta read between the lines because we just don't know what this staff will do, and we know what the Garrett staff is. You know, we survived Garrett for 10 years, and I've seen the shirts and this, that, and the third, but the problem is we just don't know what this staff will do. Mike McCarthy may come in and say, I got everything I need on offense. Mm-hmm. Let's get this defense better. Yeah. He may say that. He uses his running backs well. He may like Tony Pollard. He may say, I have everything I need on offense. Bring Cobb back. We'll do some different things. They may like Cedric Wilson. Mm-hmm. McCarthy may say, I like everything about this Cowboys offense. We just need to tweak a few things and we're fine. Great offensive line. Boom. But when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, he may say, we're just kind of soft.
Yeah.
We just need to be stouter up front. And if that's the case, go draft Javon Kinlaw. Go draft Epinesa and live. Let's go.
You trying to trade up anywhere, Brother Foots? Because we see that the 49ers defense is a Nick Bosa away from being top tier elite. You want to say, hey man, forget all these auxiliary guys. You want to put some picks on the board to go get a gangster there? Which one do about that, Foots?
If Derek Brown gets to 10, we can talk.
I see. Look, that's my thing. I don't want to trade up and get Derek Brown because I feel like if I can get Kinlaw, it ain't worth the picks giving up to get Derek Brown. Like, I think Isaiah Simmons is worth a trade up.
You do?
I think a guy like that is worth a trade up. Like if he's there at 11, and I just got to move up. I can't count y'all. I'm sorry. What is that? Five, 6 spots? Do I got to move up 5, 6 spots to go get Isaiah Simmons? Would you do that?
You got to give your third.
Sure, they can have that.
You got to give your third and maybe a 2 from next year. So if you think that you know. If that's where you feel, let's do it. Because I could talk myself into Isaiah Simmons as well.
This is my notion about Isaiah Simmons, right? I think he's the perfect luxury player for the defense that needs one more piece. I think if he goes to a defense that's bad at linebacker and bad at safety, you won't be able to fully use his potential because if you put him at linebacker, your safety play is bad. Or if you put him at safety, now your linebacker play is bad, right? We're a team that we have starters at both those spots already. So we can just move him around and just let him eliminate tight ends. We can move him around and just let him pass rush next to D-Law sometimes. We can let him come down and play the run. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of things we could do. Swaggy D be hating. He says we don't need a linebacker. I tell you what, man. Sean Lee probably be gone. What's my man? Joe Thomas probably be gone. And and Marsh Lillard and them auxiliary linebackers, like we losing 5 linebackers this offseason. That includes your Sam. You know what I mean? And Foots, you coach, you know defense. How deadly is a defense that can cover all different types of offensive personnel packages out of base formation? How powerful is that, Foots? You know how powerful that is.
All right, so Isaiah Simmons now he's good enough to go guard Travis Kelce right now.
He's good enough to do that right now. And then
Hey,
look,
no,
and then look,
not in a year from now.
right now,
He's good enough to carry Cole Beasley in the slot right now.
right now.
Just carry him across the formation enough to make a quarterback think twice.
Then he can line up in pass rush foots. he
And
can
he
line
can
up.
line up in pass
He
rush.
can line up in pass rush. He make me sick. He's so good, Foots.
So
But I'm listening to you, sir. But yeah, he's the only guy that I would possibly trade up for. Everybody else, I don't think there's a big difference I don't think there's a big difference in a guy that we could get at 17, opposed to where we would trade up to like 10, 11, or 12 or something like that. Except for Isaiah Simmons. He's the only one.
that's a fact. That is a complete fact.
Yeah. Let me take a look at we talked about we talked about a lot of stuff. We was podding today for us. We put some work in today. We talked about top 3 scheme change. Yeah, all right, cool. You got something else for us? You got you know something you want to close on? You want to take chat box questions for like 5 minutes?
Let's do chat box, man. I'm here. Well, all right, so let's do chat box. And then I'm gonna jump off because man, I gotta get ready. I actually gotta watch some more players myself, Voch. Can we get back up this week too, Voch?
Let's run it. Let's run it.
And start ranking some players. It doesn't have to be a long show. But
Absolutely. We can do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Either one of those days is cool with me.
okay, so I see pull up then he's talking about tight ends. I like the Notre Dame kid. But he gets hurt too much. He was injured. His name's hard to pronounce. I was thinking tight end.
I hate tight ends. Yeah. I hate tight ends. I don't like watching them unless they, noteworthy or whatever. But
unless they noteworthy. And the problem, so Alberto, excuse me, not Notre Dame, excuse me. Well, I do like Cole Kmet, but Alberto's probably the highest on the draft board right now. Cole Kmet is good too.
I like Blake Jarwin.
Right there, you go, right there.
I like Blake Jarwin.
None of these tight ends are gonna come in and change.
By no means is Blake Jarwin like top tier, but if used correctly, I think he could be a starting tight end for you. I think if we push Witten off the bridge, I think he's a starting tight end for you.
I think another thing that I'm saying is Thad Moss. Guys, Thad Moss is okay, but don't get carried away. I mean, he's good, but he's not gonna come in and change. He's not there. All right, so don't get carried away as far as like he's not, Gronk or.
I say
problem is he wasn't. Problem is when you watch LSU, he wasn't used in line.
Yeah.
And the way that Dallas has liked to play in the past, I don't know what McCarthy wants to do with his tight ends, but you're going to be asked to block.
Yep.
And if you're getting blown up by DNs and Cole Kmet is the one because I like him as a blocker. Mm-hmm. He'll get dirty. Those Notre Dame players come in the league and they're physical players. Notre Dame and Iowa, they come to the league ready to play football. That's why I could talk myself into Epinesa. But the tight end, I stepped away from that position.
Plus,
it's just not. I'm not gonna use.
Because you can really get a gangster at 17 and ain't no gangsters at tight end.
Ain't no gangster tight ends in this draft class.
There you go. What else y'all got, chat box? We ain't
any questions, guys?
We ain't here for. I actually got a super chat I wanted to just hate on real fast. Hold on, give me a second. I actually wanted to hate on Foots. You ready?
I'm ready.
What if Dallas trades a second and Tyron Smith for Jamal Adams and take a tackle at 17th overall? I would love the tackle from U of L and spend money on defense. You're gonna be spending money on Jamal Adams, first of all, and and no, I do not want to get rid of Tyron Smith. People seem to think Tyron Smith has fell off. I've done the research. Tyron gave up 1 sack last year. That's it. Quit playing with him. He's not a demigod anymore. But he's still a great human left tackle. And you don't want to move backwards. In this playoff run that we're running, you do not want to move backwards. And whatever the kid from Louisville, Prince Mufasa or whatever, he's not Tyron Smith, man. He's not close.
Yeah, guys, don't listen. You guys, Cowboys fans get spoiled by Tyron.
Yes, sir.
And he's so good that when he makes a mistake, you guys think that he's not a good player. Stop.
Yes, sir.
Stop. Tyron Smith will be in this league for 15 years.
Yes, sir.
Stop. Don't. And now what's even great is, guess what? Lyle Collins is really good now.
Sure.
So we're not drafting a tackle. We're not trading Tyron Smith. Relax. Okay? No. You know, what is he, 28? He's 28 years old. Are you serious? Tackle play till they're 35, dude.
Yep. Dre the Great, who also is fake with me sometimes. Aisha hate Blake. She hate Blake and who else it was she was hating on? Blake and Byron Jones. She hate everybody I like. That's crazy. Dre the Great, who be hating on the show too. He be like, why is offensive line not a priority in this draft? 2020's offensive line class is elite. I think I have a notion why we're not looking at offensive line because
our offensive line is still good.
They're still good. Plus we drafted Connor McGovern last year. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand is we may not draft a guard this year because we got one from last year. You know what I mean? We're not going to draft backup running back. We got one from last year. We're not going.
Guys. McGovern he'll be fine. Like Voch said, get healthy. Let Connor continue to get stronger. He's a third-year player.
Sure,
guys. We're not drafting an offensive lineman this year. Our offensive line is good.
Sure.
Like if Voch broke down the sacks, okay? But I'm pretty sure Voch somewhere in there said that our offensive line is still top 10 at least.
Yeah.
So, guys, please relax.
Yeah.
All right?
Please do.
That's not – don't come to me and Voch about offensive line questions. We're not drafting a guard. We're not drafting a tackle. I will tell you that right now. All right? Period. Now, somebody said something good, Voch, that I want to address.
Go ahead.
Let me go back and talk. There's a player that we forgot about. If he happened, that I would draft to. If he happened to fall, let's say he got to 11, I would draft Jeff Okudah. I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh God, that can't happen. That can't happen. Boy, they're gonna snatch Jeffrey up so quick. I think he's the second defender to come off the board behind Chase. So I don't know when that be. That may be 6 or 7. But hey, if somehow some weed fell out his pocket, or he put his best friend in the trunk, or he got caught with a gun under his seat, and Jeffrey Okudah fell to 17, you ain't got to worry about cornerback. You ain't got to worry about you. I mean, you would. Okay, so yo, Foots, how about this? Hey, how about this? How about you? How about if you could? Okay, let's say we drafted Jeffrey Okudah. Would you let go of Byron and say Jeffrey is our new Byron, or would you bench Cheeto and say let's run Byron and Jeffrey? Who gonna throw on us, Doc?
Let's run Byron and Jeffrey.
Who gonna throw on us, bro? Oh goodness. Yeah. Oh goodness.
Okudah's so good, bro.
That just made me shiver for a little bit. Oh goodness.
No. Somebody said Jeff Okudah, Marcus Lattimore. Nah, Jeff Okudah, Jalen Ramsey. You crazy.
Man, Jeff can play.
Jeff Okudah way longer. He's way longer than Marcus Lattimore. Body types. He's way more of a ferocious tackler than Marcus Lattimore.
He's a big one.
He's bigger. Listen, Marshawn Lattimore is good, not Marcus. Marshawn Lattimore is good.
Yeah.
Jeff Okudah is great.
He's so physical at cornerback, man. So physical. Chat box, we got like 5 more minutes before we get Foots up out of here. If y'all got your questions, what's your thoughts on Lakey Fotu? He's too fat, no athleticism. I don't want him for this team. He can go play for some true 3-14, but he's a big old boy, but not for me. We're talking about Lakey Fotu, the nose from Utah. Give us a good one. Give us a good one, y'all, before we leave. Let's see. They talking about the backup offensive line. I don't know why they want them. Give me Van Jefferson from Florida. Hey, Foots, you been keeping up with the Senior Bowl?
Yes, a little bit. The practice, more or less.
Hey, man, Van can play.
Van can play.
Van can play. He might be a guy you bring in and sit this year, play him in some of those 4 receiver packages, or maybe you get Randall Cobb about the paint, and he'll be a guy to come in for you next year. But Van Jefferson can ball a little bit.
He reminds me a lot of Debo.
Sure. Okay, so look, Foots, how about this? Because I'm constantly growing as a talent evaluator, and I got this new way to look at receivers now. And I think it's the first thing I do is I find out when they're great. After the catch or before it. You know what I mean? When are you more dangerous? When you look at CeeDee Lamb, he's dangerous after the catch. He catches the ball, he turns into physical yak guy. Debo Samuel's like that. You look at guys like Henry Ruggs. He's dangerous before the catch. He can run past you with that 4.2 speed, right? I think And I think you find you a rare player that's dangerous pre-catch and dangerous after the catch, like those Jerry Jeudy types. And that also goes into my thoughts and opinions on why you got to keep Amari Cooper, because he's dangerous pre-catch and post-catch. So that's just my new train of thought for the catch, after the catch.
No, and that's good right there, Voch. You know, like you said, you're what we're doing is we're growing as evaluators, because we've seen so many of these.
Yes, sir.
We've seen so many of these guys come throughout the league, and every year there's going to be a quote unquote Dez Bryant comp. But sometimes that's lazy. If you see a guy that's 6'3" or 6'2", that doesn't make him Dez Bryant.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
What does he do well? How does he play against physicalness?
I think
how does he play against the press? How does he play against zone? How does he set his route tree up? All of those things are key. So yeah.
I think CeeDee Lamb does some things like Dez in terms of, if I catch a bubble, can I run everybody over and score? But don't forget, like, Dez in his prime was kind of explosive. Like Dez coming out of Oklahoma State had some explosion. He had some, like, he was returning kicks. You know what I mean? So let's not be short-sighted here. We got one more. We're gonna let Brother Foots get his plugs and get up out of here. I'm not drafting any soft Big 12 players. That's a bit harsh, but I feel you. Which situation can be fixed faster permanently this offseason, corner or safety? First, which one in this offseason can be fixed easier, cornerback or safety?
I don't think either or are a problem, but I think you could, as far as from a drafting perspective, I think that you would get a better, because Akuta's off the board, so the corners kind of drop off after him. So they're more second-round guys. I think you could get a better safety in the offseason. But as far as technique-wise, listen, at the end of the day, you can coach some things differently. I don't know what Nolan's going to have Rashard coaching these guys to do.
Sure.
I don't know what the DB coach is going to have these guys coached up to do. I don't really even know what coverages Nolan's going to want to run, and, you know, all of these type deals. But at the end of the day, there's elite talent and elite level players for a reason. Okay. So, you know, I think that you could probably fix safety play more than corner if I had to answer that. What about you, Voch?
It is way safer to fix. It's way easier to find safeties than to find good corners, you know.
Totally.
Now you can find corners and try to fit them to your system. Like if you're a cover 3 guy, sure, you can go find cover 3 corners or whatever, but you can find a lot of safeties that can just, hey, I'm just going to play in the box and tackle people and just chase tight ends around. You know what I mean? Because every year there's a box safety. There's a box safety you like. I can't say every year there's a real lockdown corner I like. So that's just that.
No, listen. Yeah. That's a fact. It's not. You're not going to be able to. Again, you're not going to be able to just wave a magic wand and get decent cornerback play unless you get an elite guy. So yeah, I agree.
Man, let me hit the war call for this show, because this is fantastic. Hold on, let me just hit this. Oh, boy. Yo, Fuzz, we tore this show to shreds, man.
Bro,
it was fun.
This was fun, man.
Yeah.
This was, man, great stuff, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
I had a great time, Voch.
I
get a real peace talking draft football.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. We are absolutely going to do this again. Y'all ain't got to worry about that. Of course, Foots is going to be covering draft on his channel. He's ranked safeties because he loves safeties. I'll probably rank safeties last because I hate them. But that's the good thing about the dynamic of the community. You know, we ain't all just talking about the same shit just to be talking about it. You know, you can find something different on my show than you'll find on, you know, Foots' channel. So, Foots, give all your plugs to the good people, sir.
Hey, guys. At the end of the day, it's your boy Foots the King. I'm at Cowboys Nation TV on YouTube. I watch all of Voch's stuff. I thank you guys, man, for the great support getting in this chat box. Thank you guys so much. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Really kind of hurt me today.
Yeah.
So.
This is one of them big ones, man. Like Kobe transcends basketball, just like Prince was bigger than music, you know what I mean? Just like Nipsey was bigger than rap, you know what I'm saying? Like Kobe really impacted people that didn't even watch the sport. I only watched basketball. Well, I'm a bigger fan now, but when Kobe was like playing, I only watched like during playoffs and like finals or whatever. But I knew who the hell Kobe was. I knew how good he was. I knew what that run was like. I was there and I was present for it. And for him to be young and his daughter to be 13, man, that's rough. Hey man, find somebody you love and tell her you love them. Give them a hug and all that. You know what I'm saying? Because you just never know, man. You just never know. But I'm Voch Lombardi everywhere. VOCHLOMBARDI.
Appreciate you, Voch. Hey, listen, let's take some time to appreciate Voch and the work that he puts in.
Man. Yeah. I'm humble, man. I'm grateful. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate Fuss for coming on. We're gonna have you on again. And y'all hold down for the Doski Woski and the Peasky Whiskey, man. Until next time, we're gonna run these ads. If y'all love me, you will sit and watch. Salute. Cable bill was way too high. I reached out to affordablesticks.com. They sent me a Fire Stick, plugged that thing into the HDMI. Now I get unlimited shows, movies, and live TV. I'm a huge sports fan, so I love League Pass, Sunday Ticket, and I get the pay-per-view fights for free. That's something for the whole family. You can buy a Fire Stick for every TV in the house and still spend less money than you would on cable. That's affordablesticks.com. There's a link in my description. You should go click it. Cut the cord, man. The YouTube Illuminati is taking money away from your favorite content creators, and people often ask the best way to support the channel directly. I tell them that's subscribing to my Patreon. Just $1 a month would increase production and the frequency of uploads. Basically, that means more content for you. For less than a bag of almond M&Ms, you can support the channel, call dibs on requests for future videos, and you can have access to Patreon exclusive material like my throwback film sessions. That's patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. I appreciate the support. Doski Woski. Salute. After canceling my cable, I saved $2,400 this year by switching to Beast TV through channelsforcheap.com. Some people pay $200+ a month. I paid $120 a year, or you can go $15 a month if that's what's convenient for you. You get 2,500 HD channels. 1,000 of those are in English, and there are plenty other international channels, TV Guide, and we get all the sports. One of my favorite things is multi-screen feature. So if I don't know what I want to watch, I can tune into 4 different channels at one time that you can watch on 4 different devices, and it's available on Fire Stick, smart TVs, tablets, and if you're on the go, you can watch TV on your phone. Hit the link in my description or go to channelsforcheap.com where you can get a free 7-day trial. That's a whole week for you to just sit down and play with it and see what you like about it, then come back and make a purchase. If you have any questions, go to channelsforcheap.com, hit this little button right here, and they'll respond to you immediately. That is channels4cheap.com. The link is in the description. I highly recommend it. Let's do it.